warm welcome to Steve, and who is actually English, so we have to speak English, and then now and then we will talk some Dutch. And Toon is a Dutchman, thankfully, and Michiel's here as well, but something happened with his camera. Maybe did some dirty things, I'm not sure, but. So,
I'm listening.
Welcome to you all. Let's talk about the Brexit and not about Johnson. But first of all, Steve, my congratulations to you and the English soccer team for getting further in the tournament than the Dutch team, which is not normal. But this year, nothing is normal. But I saw you also have a nice. You guys have nice streets nowadays, so we used to have orange streets, but they're gone already.
Well, since 1966, which is a long time ago, we haven't done very well in any soccer competition. But I must say, I thought the Dutch were going to be there or thereabouts at the end, but your guy getting sent off seemed to lose you the game. So it is what it is. Watching England play football is like watching paint dry. It's horrible. It's horrible football.
Well, football's coming home, maybe. So let's talk about the Brexit, because you just left the city.
Okay. I was just going to say, like me, Fritz, you're a rugby player anyway, so, you know.
Yeah.
We don't need soccer. Anyway, Brexit. No. Well, where to start? I've been basically.
Please bear in mind we only have 30 minutes, Steve.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
I've had 9 months or more of very long working weeks, and it started with: was there going to be a Brexit deal or no deal? And it went on and on. Yeah. You probably remember all the politics, and the problem started back then for most businesses, not just UK businesses, but EU businesses as well, because everybody was sat waiting. Is there going to be a deal, or is it going to be a no deal? We think there'll be a deal, so we'll sit on our hands and do nothing. You know, the whole VAT world's upside down, the whole customs and customs duty world's upside down, and nobody's doing anything about it. So there was a last minute panic. There was the TCA, the Trade and Compromise Agreement, was signed on the 24th of December. So customs duty was sorted to a certain extent, but nothing was sorted regarding what I consider a customs mess and a VAT mess. Nothing was sorted. So lots and lots of businesses with UK businesses with obligations in the EU, and EU businesses with obligations in the UK, not ready, not fit for purpose. So we moved on. 1st of January came around, and we got tons and tons of clients with big issues. And cutting to the quick, if you distill what those issues are or were for a lot of the clients now, because we've resolved them, there were practical issues. There weren't VAT issues, and there weren't customs issues. There were practical issues. For instance,
like what?
Is my supply chain robust? Does it cope with the changes? Can my carrier or my customs agent actually handle the goods and get them to where they need to go in a customs and VAT efficient manner? And the more we worked on the client issues, the more we realized that most of them were being created by the carrier of the goods. People who, for the 40 whatever years it is, the UK 48 years the UK had been in the EU, had never had to do a customs entry. never had to charge import VAT, never had to fill out a customs declaration and say whether duty was due or not. And it was just a big mess because there was no experience there. They didn't know what they were doing. And we had clients that were exporting from the UK, importing into lots of EU 27 member states direct, and being faced with up to 27 different customs and VAT regimes. So then we had to resolve those issues. One way was to talk to the carrier themselves. But what we found with carriers is that they have their own solution in place. So it's an off-the-peg solution. This is how we do it.
Yeah.
And nobody was thinking about
Steve,
the
one
client.
question.
Yeah.
The carrier, that's the company that transports the goods from the UK to the EU or the other way. Okay. Just to make sure that everybody understood. Go on, please.
Shipper, carrier, whatever, freight company. So the good. These guys are only offering an off the peg solution. This is how we do it, guys. This is how we move goods, and this is what we do about VAT and customs. And most clients, businesses, are completely different to the next. And they have a bespoke supply chain and bespoke logistics needs, and obviously bespoke VAT and customs needs. And most of the solutions revolved around actually moving them away from their current carrier or logistics provider, getting a single point of entry for their goods into the EU, so that they're dealing with one EU member state for importations. Getting that all set up so that it's efficient. Make sure the customer experience, their customer experience, was as near as possible what they had before Brexit, and moving on. So it was all about practical issues. You come out of that, and it's taken 6 months to come out of that mode. There still are clients that have got issues, but it's not as full on as it had been in the previous 6 months. There are still issues out there, and I'll mention a few because you guys on your side of the ocean are going to see these. Triangulation is a big issue for UK businesses.
What do you mean by triangulation?
It's a VAT. It's part of a VAT regime where you have an ABC transaction. So, an example: you have a supplier in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
You have the ultimate customer, C, in say Germany, and there's a UK business sat in between them. And the problem for UK under triangulation, the UK business, when it was in the EU, could just basically tick a box, no VAT charge to it, no VAT charge to the customer. Now we're out of the EU, and if we're not VAT registered in the EU somewhere, triangulation doesn't work. So Dutch business has to charge VAT to the UK business, Dutch VAT. UK business can't get that VAT back, because the Dutch authorities would say, hey, guys, you should be registered in the Netherlands or somewhere in the EU. So we have a lot of clients that are party B in an ABC transaction where the goods always remain in the EU, but aren't EU VAT registered. Yeah. So we're having to find...
Solution?
So speak to Toon.
That's where Toon comes in, right?
Yeah, but we can use the Northern Ireland Protocol. So, as some of you guys may be aware, Northern Ireland wears two hats. It wears a UK hat and it wears an EU hat. So if if you have any connection as a business with Northern Ireland, we can usually get under the Northern Ireland Protocol, we can set up what's called an XI, VAT ID, and AORI number. XI is just the EU's prefix for Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
They can't use NI because it's too much like NL, so they've got XI instead. And once a UK business has obtained an XI VAT ID, it goes on to the EU's VI number checker, the VAT number checker. So even though it's a UK business, it's actually registered as though it were an EU business. So some
the
UK business.
Northern Ireland is becoming the new what is it? Channel Islands or Bahamas or whatever for England. This is it's an entry into the EU.
It can be a backdoor into the EU for we call the UK less Northern Ireland Great Britain. Yeah, so it's GB. Okay. So we now have the concept of GB and XI. Yeah. So GB businesses can get their goods efficiently into the EU through Northern Ireland through the XI VAT ID. But failing that, if there's no connection with Northern Ireland and we can't structure one, then we have to register somewhere in the EU. And the way we do that, if we haven't got a nexus with any EU member state, we can do that by just shipping some goods somewhere. And we'd want it to be not in Party A's country or Party C's country. We would ship goods to somewhere with a good VAT regime. DDP, delivered duty paid. So we are the importer and we have to register for VAT in that country. And so the Republic of Ireland is good for that because there's no fiscal representation in the Republic of Ireland. And from a Brit point of view, they speak English. So Republic of Ireland is popular for that. So we have ways around these issues, doing the job and on our feet and thinking about how to do these things. Another big issue is actually a customs duty issue, and it involves goods of non-EU and non-UK origin, which is returned goods relief. So if goods have been sent to the EU and are being returned back into the UK, we're finding that we're being charged duty because our clients are being charged duty on the goods coming back into the UK because the carriers, the freight handlers, carriers, shippers, customs agents, whatever you want to call the person doing the customs declaration, are just not completing the right boxes. They're not ticking the right boxes. They're not going through the right processes. So it's all this part of a learning curve. So we're also helping clients make sure that their agreements with the carriers are fit for purpose. And there's a slightly odd situation with France because France just likes to stop all British goods going into France for some reason. They find any reason to tax the goods.
Not only UK goods, any goods, because they're they think their goods are the best. They still think they have the best wine, which is bullshit. They have the most expensive wine. That's another thing. But we are in a slight war with France regarding Air France KLM thing, because they're trying to take control of our.
I have a question.
How do you call it? Air company.
Question, yes. You can see me?
There's a question.
You can see me? To Michael.
Who am I speaking to?
Normally,
Who am I speaking to?
Can see me as the third person, or now the fourth, but it doesn't function, the webcam. So I have to deal this way. But maybe we can make the connection.
You can't read his lips.
But what I'm interested in is your specific problems with the VAT when you import or export to Holland. The carriers, they send goods from a company to Holland, so they have to cross the border. Is Holland a popular country for England to register for the VAT? And why is that?
I would say it is the most popular. There is a painful part to it, which is fiscal representation, which is not a straightforward. We don't have that in the UK, so it's not a straightforward concept to explain. So that's why I have Toon. He sorts that out. So that aside, the Netherlands, as I refer to, this is how I refer to it. It's open for business. It wants to help. It has a VAT regime that, apart from fiscal representation, is very advantageous to UK businesses because you don't charge import VAT. If it's set up right, no import VAT is charged. And if we're making B2B supply so our clients make B2B supplies within the Netherlands, as a UK business, it's domestic reverse charge. And if the goods are sent out of the Netherlands, no VAT. So you can actually have an administrative function in the Netherlands without VAT being a pain in the
when you
backside.
want to export to France from England, but that's all problem with wine and that sort of things. You carry them to Holland and from Holland to France. Is that the solution?
It is. We as a firm, the firm I work for, Haynes Watts in the UK, is about the 12th biggest accounting firm in the UK. So for our firm, we are saying to most clients that you need one point of entry into the EU for B2B goods, one point of entry, and the best point of entry is the Netherlands. Yeah. We do use the Republic of Ireland sometimes because clients have a nexus with somewhere with the Republic of Ireland. But it's either the Republic of Ireland or the Netherlands.
Okay, Toon, how does it work in the Netherlands then?
What the thing is,
because then you come
we set up many general fiscal representative licenses for UK companies. So they can actually use the postponed accounting upon importation, the reverse charge kind of thing. And we've got a very good understanding with the tax office. So we are on speaking terms. So a GFR could be set up in a week these days instead of 3 months. General fiscal representative.
What's a GFR?
Meaning that you can ask for what we call the import license, the Article 23 import license. That in combination with an arrangement that we can also act as limited fiscal representative, meaning that the UK company doesn't have its own VAT number, but that you can use a special number issued to the limited fiscal representative, being a BO2 number that in the meantime we can immediately kick off. So you don't have to wait 3 months before you actually can use the relief in the Netherlands. We've got clients, one was very scared. He set up a Dutch BV. He set up a VAT registration in the Netherlands, in Belgium, in France. And he's doing that now also for his Irish company. And in effect, he's only using one flow, but he wants to have alternatives. They're very scared these days that either it goes wrong in France, that the France harbor is blocked, or that there are road troubles there. The thing is, they already lose 2 days by using a single point of entry, so the customer touch and feel is already hampered. what we do is we have containers completely packed. They bring it in to the Netherlands. We clean it as one shipment, and then the DHL comes to basically we call it cross-docking. DHL comes in, picks up all the packages, and then it goes into the second leg of the distribution. Normally DHL would pick it up and would deliver it straight away to the client. Especially if you look at delays, normally it was 1 or 2 days delivery time. You have to deal with 5 to 7 these days. It appears that it's becoming a little bit smoother, but that will make sure it brings down 1 or 2 days at a time, but it's still very costly and slow. It's very simple. The more hands on a package, the more expensive it becomes. So we had all kinds of vet and custom solutions in place, but you have to find the logistics partners that are willing to help you. Some only will trade in pallets. Then you have pallets for, say, the Euro pallets, and then suddenly you got another shipper that only deals with 150 by 80 centimeters. And you have to look for another shipper. You run into kinds of weird practical problems.
Yeah.
Yep.
Welcome to the world of logistics. Well, I think that Steve, how's the in England? Are they still? Do they feel? I mean, you know all the problems about Brexit, but does the general population have any notice of Brexit nowadays, or is it just business as usual for them?
It depends on what level you're talking. If you talk to people in the art sector, only about 6% think we're better off out of the EU than in it. Some don't care, but the vast majority are saying it's been a bad thing. As a country, I can't, apart from the obvious border, the friction point, which is the borders, nothing's changed much. In fact, we're doing all right as a country. The country's coming out of COVID pretty quickly and got back to work, and things are quite buoyant.
Okay.
I suppose that your football team's doing all right for a short while.
Hey, listen, because we only have a few minutes left. I know I have a client who has a web shop, sells beds for children. It's very popular, also in the UK. But she stopped selling to the UK because she had to pay about 70 to 80 euros per bed to get everything organized and get these beds into the UK. Well, and then that meant her goods became something like 25 to 30% more expensive. But her problem is she's not selling enough to set up something in the UK to organize it quickly, because she does about what 30,000 euros per year. Any ideas how? Yeah, selling to the UK. She sells a lot. She sells about 200,000 euros per month in the EU, and only 10% of that goes to the UK.
Yeah, and what was the additional cost? Was that just was that additional carrying cost?
Transportation. Well, she has to use someone who does all the import and VAT problems, takes the VAT and import problems out of her hands.
Yeah,
but she doesn't have.
Well, that to me, Fritz says it's her carrier, her shipper that's where the extra cost is coming. So she needs to look at a new contract. See, this is just typical of the practical problems.
Yeah, it is a practical problem.
Yeah. So
How much would it cost her nowadays to set something up so that she can do the VAT or have someone do the VAT and import duties for her? Because, it's only bad, so it doesn't really matter whether it takes 4 days or 6 days to be shipped. It's more the problems of having to organize your VAT and customs duty.
Shall we keep it simple? We've got various transport companies going up and down. Some do containers, some do pallets, some do packages.
Yeah.
And I think this is the smaller flow. So we could look at, we got one client doing special shipping, and a little bit smaller outfit, a custom agent that's doing specific. We can bring her into contact with one or two companies that may be of help or can help her at least tell how to do it. It shouldn't be that expensive.
And that company, if you get the right company, they'll handle the customs formalities. Hopefully, there's not customs duty due.
No, not on beds.
Yeah, and you don't need fiscal representation.
There's one thing.
UK.
No. There's one thing. The beds are being made in Poland and have to be shipped from Poland directly to the UK. But that should not, it should not be different from whether they're.
No. And if she's selling the beds, is she selling the beds B2B or B2C?
It's B2C.
Yeah. So she'll need a UK VAT registration.
How many people want to buy? Sorry?
She'll need a UK VAT registration.
If necessary, she'll do that.
That doesn't need to be expensive.
Okay.
You're talking about a small business. There's a cost to being VAT registered, £750 typically, and a quarterly VAT return, maybe £260 a quarter. But if you can, the cost to her seems to be in the actual movement of the goods.
Thing. Yeah.
So she just needs more efficiently.
Yeah, that's true. And well, her troubles with the UK started somewhere in November because she sold the beds that went from Poland, and the mattresses had to come from the Netherlands. And people got their beds, but one way or another, the mattresses stayed in Holland. They couldn't get them out to the UK. So
it's time to go to bed.
Strange, but that's what happened.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yes, Steve. Thanks very much for enlightening us on the Brexit and the ways you found and Toon as well.
Well, I hope it was useful.
And I hope some messages at the chat. You can read them. Maybe you can help us with that to encourage the trade between England and Holland. And thank you all the deelnemers.
Okay.
Ook bedankt.
Yeah, and we'll have to switch to Dutch now, Steve. Sorry. Volgende week Aart Roosendaal over de overdrachtsbelasting. En dat leek ons wel een mooie afsluiting. En wat we 10 september als opening gaan doen is nog niet helemaal duidelijk. Maar 17 september zitten we hier met Hans Hogerbrug van de Belastingdienst. Hij is het hoofd van het team wat hoofdstaal toezicht in het MKB uitvoert. Dan kunnen we al onze problemen en vermeende problemen met hem bespreken en zien hoe hij daarop reageert. Dus alleen
dan moet je wel kijken.
1 probleem, we mogen dat niet opnemen. Dus dan moet je
Deze
er zijn.
uitzending is altijd wel terug te
Ja.
vinden.
Misschien voordat we afsluiten, Frits, voordat we echt afsluiten,
Well,
zijn
Steve,
er nog deelnemers die
Thanks very much.
specifiek zouden willen weten, horen of...
Ja? Vragen hebben. Stuur
Oké.
mij anders gewoon een mail en ik zorg ervoor dat die doorgaat naar
bedoel
Toon
ik.
en Steve. Dat is geen enkel probleem. We zijn er om elkaar te helpen, nietwaar? Ik wens jullie allemaal een mooi weekend. Het wordt weer mooi weer. Hopelijk gaat zondag Toon winnen, of Max winnen. En misschien, well, football's coming home, Steve.
Oké.
Maybe you win another one round. Hè?
Bye bye, chaps.
Good luck.
Cheers.
We'll see.
Bye.
We'll see.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.